Heading home from the Hill Hath No Hurry 30K down at like Settlers Ridge Park or whatever, down by the Pittsburgh airport. Finished third overall in like 3 hours and 6 minutes. I think I had like 30 seconds, something like that. I don't even know. I've been wanting to do the race for a couple years now. Finally got the opportunity to do it. I don't know, I guess it was fun. It's 3 laps of 6 miles, about 800 feet per lap, so 24-ish, well, basically say 25, because I think it was a little over 800 feet a lap. I don't have to look again. Either way, whatever, it's 3 laps, 6 miles. First 2 laps, you do one way, then the third lap, what they call a victory lap, you do it in reverse. So you sort of know the course a little bit, but it's kind of breaks up the monotony of doing it 3 times the same way. But if you're doing like the 50K or the 50 miler, you know, you're doing a lot more laps, and you're still only doing it reverse. I think the first, or the last lap. I'm not sure how the 50K, the 50 miler do it, but pretty sure that it's still only the last lap. So it would be a little bit more monotonous in the 50 miler or 50K, just to be able to do it on the last lap. But whatever. It's not overly technical. I've never been there before. It goes all through the park. I don't even know exactly where all it goes. I've never been there. I can't even tell you if it goes somewhere else besides the park. But because it's all new to me. It's not overly technical. I wouldn't even say it's technical at all. It's pretty runnable. A couple hills, nothing too major. The couple hills are a little bit of a leg burner. But if you're in shape at all, you should be able to run up them, no problem. I should have been able to run up them, no problem. But I walked them because I'm out of shape. I don't know, I just had another bad day. It was just hot. It's 83 degrees right now. I would say it was probably the same when we started the race. Just the sun was out a lot more, beating down on us. Very humid day. When I say humid, I mean as soon as you step out of your vehicle, you're starting to sweat. So as soon as we started the run, like you instantly, like I got just dripping in sweat, like from head to toe. And that was for like the whole 3 hours. So I was dealing with that, you know, trying to stay hydrated, but you're sort of falling behind the 8 ball the whole time just because you're sweating out. At least I was sweating so much, and I think other people were too, just the way they were looking. But my sweat today didn't really look too salty, which is kind of shocking. All the shit that I've been eating. I did wash off a little bit, so I guess I can't really lick myself right now to see if I'm still salty. But I don't know. I was gonna go for the win today. You know, I thought I could take it. And then after I started running like a couple miles in, I was just like, wow, your legs are just telling you to basically F off. It ain't gonna happen. I just don't have the legs anymore. I don't know what happened to me. But I mean, it's not a hard race, to be honest with you. If I was in shape, like 2 months ago, if I would have ran that course, I probably would have been like 2 hours. I feel that confident I could have did it like at least 2:20 probably, the whole 18 miles. I don't know what that would come out to, but I definitely should have been able to run that in like a 7-minute pace, like 7.5 the whole time. That's just how far back I've fallen in the last couple weeks. I did take off right away with some kid. he was right on me for like a couple miles, and then he passed me. I was staying with him, and then as my legs just finally said, "You're done," he just got me more and more. But I had him in view pretty much for the first 4.5, 5 miles. I was like, I'll get him later, because he was just wearing like road shoes from what I could see, and he was slipping in the mud. I was like, his legs are gonna get tired, I'll catch him later. But I just never had the energy or the drive today, the push. Maybe that's my issue. It's just I'm in like a crap mindset where I'm just hanging back too much instead of actually racing, because I'm afraid of what's going to happen. But we'll see. I don't know. It's a lot of up and downs. It's really hard to explain the course itself. I would say 80%, 85-ish% single track. The rest is some tramp down, like probably 3 wide trail, but it's not like rail trail, it's just like dirt compacted down. And there's maybe less than a football field of asphalt, this one little hill that you go up. And there's like 2 or 3 road crossings throughout the park, but you're not really on road at all. So that's kind of nice. It's just, like I said, it just goes up and down and all weaving around through the park. I'd have to look at the GPS map to see exactly all where we go, because I have no idea. I just know it felt like we did a couple switchbacks, but it felt like we were going one way for a while, then we go the other way, like zigzagging all through wherever this park is. There was a couple of little bridges that we crossed, a couple of little like log sections where, like little drainage was, they just put logs over. If you're familiar with trails, you know what I mean. No real creek crossings, but there was a couple muddy sections, maybe like 5-10 feet at the most of mud sections, like a couple of times it did happen. So you're not really getting muddy. You're not getting your feet wet unless you want to get them wet, and when you want to get them wet, you pretty much have to go out of the way to get them wet, which is nice because it's pretty much a dry course, but there's a creek and stuff, and the couple little creek crossings that you do, there's like a bridge, or you can like step right over them so you don't have to get wet feet. Even though I did get my feet wet because I dipped my hat a few times, because I was just getting my ass kicked by the humidity today. I was just drained. That probably was a huge factor as well, with how my body reacted. It just was shit in the bed because the humidity. I just didn't have the legs and endurance anymore. I don't know. So basically, after the first place dude got me, I was just trying to hang on for top 3. I thought I could get it. Well, I wasn't really sure. This one kid passed me, I think 2 miles in on my second lap, give or take like a couple tenths. But he looked like he was struggling a little bit. He got me actually on an uphill, which was kind of shocking. But then I was catching back up to him on the flats and downhills, which again was even more shocking. But I guess that happens sometimes. I don't have the legs. And I was trying to play it smart. I was like, you're having a bad day, so don't even try to bust your ass up hills and make time, because if you're not going to win, there's no point in put yourself in that danger zone at all. So I was more worried about keeping myself out of that red line, because I was on the verge the whole time, like just teetering. And I knew that, so again, I was just playing it smart, trying to hang on as long as possible. Then I figured once if I wasn't top 3 anymore, I was just gonna start walking and mail it in. I was actually kind of hoping for that a little bit, but I wasn't just gonna give up until it happened. Anyway, somewhere I passed that kid back up. I don't know how much, probably like 2 miles later or something. I don't even remember where it was at. Then I never really, the only time I saw him again was on the victory lap. He was probably 4 minutes, 5 minutes behind me. You know, like coming into the aid station. So I was pretty comfortable with that. But my buddy Dash, he was flying into the aid station. I was like, oh, he's gonna catch me at some point on my victory lap. I was like, all right, we'll go as long as we can, try to hold them off and go from there. Dash caught me, I don't know, somewhere between 1.5 miles and 2 miles left into the race. I saw him coming. I was just like, I don't have nothing left, come and take it. I wanted him to take it, and I wanted to tell him that, because once he passed me, then I could relax a little bit, because if there's somebody behind me, I'm not going to be able to mentally relax at all. So I was like, so if he could pass me, I could just relax a little bit, which is what I wanted, and that's why I told him. And that's what happened after that. I mean, there was people on the course the whole day, like passing both directions, because all the races started at different times. Like 30K, which makes it rough, is it starts at 2 p.m. One of those late starts. So it's sort of, I don't know, it makes it different. You can actually do like other races in the morning if you wanted to, then go there. Or you can actually do like the 10K that starts, I think, 8 in the morning. 8 or 10 in the morning is the 10K. And the 50 miler. The 50K, I believe, starts at noon. I could be wrong. Either way, whatever. The 30K is the last race to start. So it makes it a lot harder because it's, you know, July 1st. It makes it a hotter out, you know, being at 2 p.m. and then being July, it's going to be a hot race to begin with. So, you know, bring on hell. I think that's probably why they named it, because, you know, it's a July race, and you could typically expect it to be really humid and hot, unless you're lucky and there's like an overcast. It did rain a little bit on the way down for like 5 minutes, just enough to make everything like wet a little bit more, probably more humid. But that was about it for the day. I mean, they might have got rained on a little bit more in the earlier races, but I didn't get rained on at all. It was just the drive down. I think maybe around Murraysville or something was like when it started raining for that 5 minutes. I don't know, I can't remember exactly. But yeah, I mean, I guess I enjoyed it, again, because I've been wanting to do it for a couple years now, and it just never played into my schedule. So I'm glad I got to do it and finally experience it, even though I hate lap races. If you know me, I really hate lap races. Here's the award. You see the Hell Hath No Hurry initials in the 30K thing. It's probably backwards in the video, but whatever. It's the same design for the other races too. You know, obviously it's gonna have 50K or 50M at the end. I think depending on the difference is the different size. 50 miler looked a little bit bigger, and I think the 10K is actually not on like a pedestal type thing. It's on like a string or something. I don't, from what I've seen. Most people do the 10K. Then I think it's like 50K. Then whatever. And then it's like the 30, then the 50 mile / 50 mile relay. I don't know. I didn't really eat anything during the race. I think I had like one little pickle slice of that. But I was drinking Gatorade and Tailwind. Got some ice to put underneath my hat because I was just feeling overheated. Again, not in the danger zone, but just teetering on that verge of it. I just knew if I pushed any more, I probably would have hit it. And quite frankly, after the first lap, I'm like, just wanted it to be over. I really didn't want to run 2 more. Because I knew it was going to be a little bit struggle with each step going forward. But it happens. I mean, the only thing that I really can complain about is, like, with the being like the victory lap being in the opposite direction. You know, you're running on single track and you're crossing people. You know, one's going one way, one's going the opposite. So you have that like head-on type deal, which I'm not really a big fan of in trail races. I'd rather, you know, call out, hey, on left, on right, if you're passing somebody, instead of trying to get out of the way. You know, if people like head-on, just mentally something I prefer. They got cool swag, they got cool shirts and socks with the design. There's 2 aid stations. Since it's 6 miles, you got the start / finish line aid station, like for each lap, and then there's the aid station like in the middle of the course is like 3.25 into the race, so roughly halfway. But it's a good point to have it because the difficulty of the course equals itself out about that distance. So that helps a little bit. I know the last lap, when I hit that aid station, I was like, man, I don't even know if I can make it the last like 3.25 miles. I was starting to feel it a little bit, but I managed. Granted, it was a lot slower. I have to look at my splits. I think the miles were hitting like 12 minutes per mile, down from like 6-7 minutes the first couple miles. So I don't know. It just sucked. It looked pretty even today, like male-female wise. I did notice there was a lot of females there today. I know it was like I think it's a Trail Sisters approved race too. North Park Trail Runners, big part of the race. I'm trying to think what else to tell people. I mean, I would say do it one time, at least. Because it's good to get distance. You know, in like a safer manner. You're not like doing a 50K where it's like one big ass loop where it's hard to get back to the start. So like you could easily, something happens, people can get to you, or you know, you can just like drop pretty easy. So that's pretty nice. I don't know. I know I mentally checked out a lot. I was using this race because this is my first I mean, this 18 miles is the first time I even did anything over like 5-6 miles, and since Laurel Highlands, so it's been like 3 weeks. I just don't have the legs or stamina anymore. So I gotta rethink things. I guess that's about it. I really don't have much else to say. Wasn't really much to look at. If you're into like big scenery and shit like that, you ain't gonna find that there. There's a little bit of like grassy fields. You did run through some like picnic areas because there's people having like parties. There was one little small ass pond and it probably dries up all the time because it's really nothing. So other than that, like I said, it's really runnable. You could really throw some low times down, especially if you're doing a 10K. Man, you could probably really fly and bust your ass on that course, knowing that you only have one lap. But I didn't know what to expect going in. Somebody said it was like 1,000 feet per lap, so I was expecting a lot more. So I kept looking at my watch, and I'm like, there has to be a huge ass hill at some point, but there really wasn't. It seemed well organized. It's just the parking situation's a little bit weird because where it's at, there's really small parking lots. So like 20 cars per lot is basically all you're gonna get. So they tell people to carpool. Then you have to like walk to these different ones, you know, just to be able to park for the race. So that's actually like a downfall to where they have it. Just like some people might walk like a quarter of a mile away from where they have to park to the start. I got lucky, and mine was only like 50 yards. It's not too bad, but it was well marked too. You really would have had a rough time getting off course. There was enough flagging, and like at every intersection, it was pretty well marked which way to go. So unless you're an idiot, you're not going to get lost, even if you're running fast. So there's that. People always like to know that. Don't know if I would do it again, because again, I'm not a big fan of the lap stuff. Unless I just did the 10K. I might come back and do the 10K relay just for shits and giggles. For something new. But who knows? But I think that's all I really have to say about that for today.